So today we're going to talk about a renovation project for C.E. Hanna's Media Center to get some better use out of the space that we have. This is in the Oxford School District, and they're in a one-to-one initiative. So the need for actual library books is sort of diminishing because the things that they've purchased recently are all digital copies of things. So we just have a lot of dead space that was being used. And with that, one of the things that Oxford is moving toward is the inclusion of maker spaces. You know, to put the hands-on back to the learning and connect the learning that's taking place in the classroom with something that's actually there that they can build and take with them. So the logo for Oxford and the one-to-one initiative is Connect, but we've kind of used that idea of Connect to build this proposal that's going to go forward for this renovation. What we're trying to do is connect the media center to a transition classroom that will house the maker spaces to the outdoor classroom that is already in place. Currently, there's no access straight from the media center to the outdoor classroom. So everything, there's not a smooth transition that can take place. Okay, so what we'd like to do is to be able to have that flow and connect all of these areas for that line. So this is the current media center before the renovation. You've got your books and big, huge circulation desk in the front. It's just a traditional school library. There is no access to that outdoor classroom, as I mentioned. The seating for the library, it's not a very inviting environment to sit and read. There's lots of book storage, but there's not a place to read. So the use of the library at this current time is limited to kids are going to come in and check out books. Once they get their books checked out, then they're moving on. Okay, there is some tables and some spaces in there, but the whole reason for the renovation is we're looking for a way for this space to be more effectively used than it is right now. Remember these tables in this where the librarian sits, because that is something that we can repurpose later on. Okay. So this is current pictures of the outdoor classroom, and the outdoor classroom was built several years ago. So we've got some wear and tear and some sun damage that has taken place with the outdoor classroom. There's some upgrades that need to take place with landscaping and things. What I would like for you to notice, especially about that back fence back there, that's a wood fence, and it's developed a lot of sun damage and become a little bit of an eyesore to the overall space. There is a pond that has been put in, and landscaping around that pond. There are things living in the pond, such as fish and frogs and things like that. That's been put there by the science department on purpose. This pergola is here and is in very good shape and will be reused in the design, so it won't be going away. And then we have some picnic tables, some of which are in good shape, some of which are not. Okay, and then you can see in the background here we've got planters that were built, wood planters, and we've got some, wear and tear on those from the planting and the watering and all that stuff. So we're going to have to redo that planter situation a little bit. All right. So here is what we want to do for our makerspace. So you're looking here at the entire media center. So what we would like to do is come in with a wall divisor and divide this media center space into two spaces. Keeping the original media center, keeping the media center part over here, we'll shift the books down to this place, and we would like to take and put in spaces. These are all couches and lounge chairs and things like that for space to read, inviting place to read. Also, including those workspaces here for us to come in, students to come in and work to generate things there. Got couches and tables. That big, huge desk that was for the librarian, we've found through use that there's not really when you're not checking in and out the hard copy books anymore, then that's it just takes up a lot of space. So we're going to shrink that desk down and move the librarian up to here so that she can still interact with the students as they're checking things in and out, but there's really not a place for that, all of that stuff anymore. So this space will be divided by a wall. The wall will come up. It will come up about 4 feet high, and then the rest of it will be glass. All right. So we didn't want to create two separate spaces. We want to blend these spaces together. So we wanted to be able to visually see. That's just being able to observe students and make sure you keep an eye on everything. So you'll be able to stand in the media center, see what's going on in the makerspace, and then also be able to transition into the outdoor classroom when the garage door is up. So I said garage door, there's an exit. So for this wall, what we'd like to do is put in a garage door, not a door like you would have in a house that's going to raise and lower with a push button, but one of those heavy-duty garage doors that are that let up and down by the use of chain, right there. Because we want to be able to close this off, have this open so that we can have this space for the students to work, and then also come out into the outdoor classroom area. So for the space, I mentioned already about the seating. We can see it highlighted again here with the two couches and the chairs. The workspace for collaboration in the table, and then we have 3 additional tables out here for collaborative work to take place as well. And then that garage door coming in right there to open that space up to the outside. We will need to purchase some furniture. Some furniture we can repurpose and reuse, but since we're going to take the big media center desk out, the island is in out, we're going to need to purchase a desk and a chair for that. Some of the tables that we have available right now, but some we're going to need. All the makerspace tables, we'll need to purchase new tables for that room and chairs to work with those tables. And then these tables right here will go in with the seated area for the reading. Okay, so we don't have those little lounge type tables now currently. And then most of this is for the furniture selected here is for the inside the media center to improve those reading areas. So renovations to the outdoor classroom. Okay, so that I mentioned we had good bones, good structure in place for that was already built. We have that pond. What we would like to do is come in with an aluminum greenhouse. Okay, so we're in Alabama and it gets sunny and we start thinking that it's clear to plant stuff, and then we in April get that big hard freeze that kills everything that we just planted. We would like to prolong the use of the outdoor classroom through the addition of the greenhouse. We can continue to plant and grow things if we had that protected area that also could get the sunlight and everything that it needs. We have to remember that due to the positioning of the school, we don't get a whole lot of sunlight up against this back wall because it's shaded by the building. Okay, so we learned that we need to plant back at least halfway so that we get the necessary sunlight to the things. We wanted to add some trees in, some fruit-bearing trees that we don't have right now currently. Put in, this would be a lamp or lantern. Seating areas that are, most of our seating that we have right now are the picnic areas up here, but we would like to leave this space open so we could, it could become a reading space as well on a nice, sunny, pretty day. The fencing I mentioned before was an eyesore now. It does the purpose of security and keeping us closed off from anybody that comes into the back of the school. But over time, that wood deteriorated pretty fast. So what we'd like to do is come back in with the wrought iron set fencing to be more of a permanent fixture back there so that we don't have to continue upkeep with either staining or doing the protective measures on the wood fencing. We feel like that overall, in the long run, we would have a better investment to go ahead with that expense of the wrought iron fencing. So the additions I talked about, we're going to save that pergola that's already there, so there's not an expense there. We will need to purchase a couple more benches. I mentioned that we could use some of the picnic tables that we already have, but there are a few that are damaged that will need to be replaced. We want to go away from the wood planters and go with the zinc trough garden. And then the biggest expense for the outdoor classroom will be that aluminum greenhouse. But the time that it's gonna give us and our students for it to be more relevant, the outdoor classroom in terms of growing things is well worth that expense, we feel like.
I have a question.
Okay.
The picnic table idea, would it be possible for your middle or high school career tech to possibly be commissioned to build those?
Absolutely.
This is a consideration.
Absolutely, but with our career tech, currently, we don't have a woodworking career tech. We have the auto collision repair, we've got the med care stuff, the graphic design, robotics, engineering, and all that stuff, but we don't have a true traditional woodworking component to our vocational program. If we were at Mumford or we were at Randolph County High School, we would certainly be able to incorporate their skills in that, but we're a little bit limited with our vocational program that we have. Great question. Anything else? So the whole reason for the renovation to take place is to get more use out of what we have. Oxford's blessed with great facilities, but there are some places that those facilities are not being used for their maximum potential. That we feel like this is one of those things. So it's not about the creative space; it's about making the space for creativity. Doing this, we feel like creating this flow between these spaces will give our students the opportunity to be more creative in what they can create and do with learning